friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears.
An updated production of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar opens in the Tri-State this week.
Barry Mulholland and Candace Handy from the Cincinnati Shakespeare Company join us this morning to explain why we should beware the Ides of March. Thank you both so much for coming in.
Nice to be here.
As always, Shakespeare Company does an amazing job taking a classic show and putting it in an unexpected era, perhaps. So let's start right there. Where are we setting Julius Caesar in this production?
It's modern Rome.
Okay.
And there are tastes of Italian mob.
Okay.
So the costumes are very slick.
Nice.
The set is very slick and chic. So yeah, it's a modern day Rome.
Can you tell us about what characters you play and what you enjoy about playing them?
I play Julius Caesar. I'm the sort of common denominator, polarizing figure in the play that drives the conflict between the warring factions and the three main characters, who are Cassius, Brutus, and Mark Antony. It's interesting playing it. There are people who think that Caesar is getting too powerful and that he threatens the democratic state in Rome, so there's sort of talk of revolution in the air and warring factions coming together to overthrow Caesar.
We're talking about a Shakespearean play written many centuries ago, but it doesn't sound all that unfamiliar.
Oh, yes, I was going to say.
Sure.
With that in mind, how important are, we're still doing Shakespeare, right? Hundreds of years later. Why are we still doing Shakespeare? Why do those things still resonate in the way that they do?
Well, obviously the themes and the topics are always timely because they're classics. And the great thing about these plays is you can do them over and over and over and do them all sorts of different ways. So I think, the idea of just the uncertainty of, who's in leadership, what's happening with our government, I think that's always going to be topical. So it's
so the timeless themes, but we're presenting it in a modern setting with a modern vibe and modern music, and the themes are timeless. I mean, there's betrayal and quest for power and ambition, but we're doing it in a relatable, accessible way. It's sort of like Shakespeare meets the Sopranos.
I was just going to say,
okay.
We were seeing some video there, and I was looking at some of the costumes. Obviously, we couldn't hear it, but I was getting Sopranos vibes out of that. And one thing I think is interesting about the show is you guys are doing it in the round. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So that might be a different theater experience of people who haven't seen theater in the round before.
Right.
Do you enjoy that as a performer?
I enjoy it because I get to just, I have a lot of big speeches. I'm the lead conspirator to take Caesar down, Cassius. And it's fun to just play the whole space. And it also the round goes really well with this idea of Rome and Roman citizens, and there's big scenes where the whole town is involved, and we try to get the audience involved as much as possible.
Oh, that's fun.
So just getting close to audience members with fake weapons is really fun too.
And when we do Shakespeare in the round, that means actually some of the seats are on
stage. Yeah.
So you can get up and close and into the action if you want
I was
to.
jealous. I saw Midsummer there with my son. I took him when that was, I think, in the early winter, and there were seats on the stage too, and I didn't know that was an option. I thought, I should have taken him and sat on the stage.
Next time.
Yes,
next
please
time.
sit on the stage. Yes.
When you're doing a show like this, when there are lines, and I know neither one of you do Friends, Romans, Countrymen, but there are certain lines that you know everybody knows. Does that trigger in your head at all when you're heading toward one of those? Or are you so sort of in deep into the character that doesn't occur to you? Do you know what I mean? Because there are certain things you know are coming, and the audience knows are coming to a degree.
You've got some
anyway.
famous lines.
Well, Et tu, Brute is one, but in our production, I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to spoiler alert. We all know the play, and we sort of assume that everybody else does too. But there are people who don't know the play. But when that moment comes, it's what's going on, I think, sort of makes it a little bit different from perhaps the traditional production.
That's what I love about them.
That's an effective tease.
That is a good tease.
That's what we call that in our business. That's a good tease right there.
Yes.
I like that.
For people who may have never seen a Shakespeare play before, and like I said, I brought my 9-year-old, and he loved it. what would you say to them and to not be intimidated by coming to see a show?
I would say don't be intimidated by the poetry. It's very accessible. There was actually someone last night at the first preview who said it was her first Shakespeare play. And, quote, she said she understood a lot more of it than she thought that she would.
Nice.
Because, I mean, a lot of Shakespeare language we still use, like, what is it, like 30% of the language. A lot of the sayings, it's Greek to me. Like, a lot of it is, it's still the way that we speak. And modernizing it, again, like, it hits your ears in a way that it's just more accessible because you're looking at it. It looks like something you can relate to, so you can follow the story
Right.
in a contemporary way.
Yeah.
And you can. And also, what's great about Caesar is it's extremely plot driven. So you know what's
going on.
Like,
Yeah.
it's no surprise
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, thank you both so much
Yeah.
for coming. How long is the run, real quick, before we let you go?
We open tomorrow night. I
Yeah.
think we play through the 24th,
Awesome.
and seats start at $12, I think. So
Excellent.
Amazing.
And we'll get ticket information up at local12.com. Break a leg.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Good to be
coming
here.
in.
You can always find our Local 12 stories right here on YouTube. Don't forget to tap subscribe, and then you can get all the notifications.